All right, Nick. We are in the bottom of the ninth. Down 2. Maybe there's some magic. There's already been some magic tonight, I'll be honest with you. I know that this isn't going to be maybe end the way that ultimately we would like it to go. But it's been an incredible night regardless.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fighting all night. I mean, to get down 8-3 and yeah, man, Will Benson was a foot away from tying the game.
Yeah, he was. Maybe 3 feet, but.
Oh, the hoodie's up. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, it's cold. I don't know what it is. I said I was going to. The problem with baseball is that they play every day almost. There's not really time to, clean up your situation. There's not really time to fix what you got. I mean, I'm sure there is, but that's my excuse.
All right. What a night, though, man. What a night. This is win or lose. This has been fun. This is kind of nights you want to see going forward.
Don't walk him now.
You don't want to bring the Tiger under the plate.
No.
You don't want to do that.
Nope.
All right, I should probably tweet this out. Let some people know we're live.
Yeah,
like the stream,
idea.
folks, if you want to see a win.
Yep, that's how it goes. Let's see here. That's not a strike. That's not a strike.
Okay. All right. We're good. We're good. We're good. I would have not wanted to see what happens. Or no, maybe I honestly kind of might have. Watch my. All right.
I don't understand this guy, man. If I was David Bell, I'd have come storming right back out of the dugout and started screaming and yelling again. Been the first manager in the history of baseball to get thrown out twice in the same game.
He'll get like a 20-game suspension.
That's a good pitch.
Yeah, it was a great pitch.
All right, Tyler. Just flare one out to right field again. I'll live with that all day long, brother. No. Nope, we're not. Nope.
Yeah. Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Tyler's had a nice night, and as cliche as this might sound, it does really feel like everyone is like on a whole nother level tonight. Like Cruz and Jabot coming off the mound. I mean, they're feeding off that energy. I gotta put a headphone down so I can hear Sadak too.
Come on. Get through.
Oh, let's go. Oh, steer with the third.
Kevin, one time, please, dude. Just tonight, you got to find a way to make it happen once.
Newman. Oh, man. This result isn't going to.
Look at Tyler.
Isn't going to draw any.
By like an 85 exit velocity off that bat. Just hit it where they ain't, man. I'm all about that, Tyler. Tell all those people that worry about that power to kick rocks, brother. You just do what you do. Flare those balls.
3 hits better.
Flare those balls out to right field.
3 for 5.
Come on, Kevin.
Tyler Stevenson. Just needed Elly up.
Come on, Kevin.
I might
lift
cry.
And separate. We're lifting and separating.
Or just take 4 pitches.
Or take, yeah. I want this ball to be in the air no matter what. I cannot have my man hit into another double play, man. I'm speaking it. I'm trying to reverse jinx
Hopkins pinch runner.
All please, right. Kevin. Please, for the love. Oh, we didn't call it a strike. This guy's an absolute clown.
He has been an experience. That pitch was the one pitch he was calling a strike. Was the low strike?
You can't miss these pitches, man.
He wasn't calling the outside one.
You can't. You just
turn Kevin loose, right?
Definitely. I mean, listen. I'm being yes, you do. I'm telling Kevin to hit this ball hit it out of here. Let's go. Love that jersey, by the way. Come on, Kevin.
Don't wake up the kids, Nick. Don't wake up the kids, Nick. Don't wake up the kids, Nick.
You got a family to make
incredible
proud, Kev.
Tonight.
Do it for the family, kid. Come on. Get out of here. Get out. Tough night.
It wasn't a double play.
Yeah, it wasn't a double play. It's a tough night, though. All right, Stuart. Your one shining moment, brother. Tell you what, you want to talk about a rally killer. You've seen that all night long. Can't believe it. There's something good. There's something good about
on deck.
There's something good about that about what happened with Kevin tonight. I'll get into that. There's something good about that. Come on, boys. We're not out of this yet. Come on, chat. Let's go. Little double down the line. Is that what we want here? I think that's what we want.
Ooh.
Good swing.
That was a healthy cut.
OJ's Bronco said he played against this guy in high school. Hopefully he
Stuart Fairchild or Caleb Ferguson?
Ferguson.
I feel like he would have told us if he played against Stuart Fairchild by now. Ooh.
You know, the one thing I don't love about Stuart Fairchild is just his swing is so, like, it's just a lot of moving parts, man. Hopefully he gets into one.
He doesn't get cheated up there.
No, he doesn't get cheated. I'll give him credit for that. Come on, Stu. Good take.
We're like,
yeah, we're in unison,
synced.
Brother. Yeah, we're living right now.
This is beautiful.
Oh man, good for Will too. By the way, shout out Will Benson. No.
Good take. That was a tough pitch.
All right, you stealing right here? I'm running.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm running.
You brought this guy in as a pinch runner. I mean,
staying him out of. I'm just trying to stay out of the double play.
Kirk Casale's on deck, so if he strikes out here, I mean, your chances are pretty slim, to be honest. So yeah, I'm stealing. Kurt.
No, you got to hit. Do we have anybody? Do we have anyone that can hit?
You'd have to lose the DH, which at this point it wouldn't matter. But do we even have anyone?
No. Cupboard's bare, brother.
The whole.
We don't have anybody. This is unbelievable.
I mean, you're almost kind of like. I
can't believe we're
Why would
here.
you have saved? Why would you?
Barrero's the only chance. Matt brings up Barrero, but I don't think Barrero's the guy here.
I think I might.
Let's just walk him.
At least Casale,
Ferguson. Get in your head a little bit here. Get in your head a little bit. But if you're Casale, there's only two options here. You're gonna try to hit a fly ball far as shit, or you're taking until you get a strike. And by fly ball, you mean do not hit the ball on the ground. Please, dude. Please let this happen. Please let this happen. Oh,
this game has been awesome. No matter what, this game has been awesome.
Yeah, this is a fun baseball game to go to and watch for sure. You got action in both ways. Be ready to hit, Casale. Let's go. What is this guy doing throwing freaking 2-0 breaking balls, man? Wow. He's throwing 2-0 breaking balls to a 172 hitter, and he threw it right down the middle to give him credit. He can't throw his... No!
Oh, come on! What are you kidding me? You suck! What a joke. That's terrible. Fire him right now. You sure that's not a strike, bro? You sure? Clown show, man. Pathetic. That should be ball 4.
So
unbelievable,
bad.
Man.
It's so bad. Come on, Casale, do it for the fan, brother. Do it. That's a ball. He fucking
ball
walked
5.
5 pitches.
Ball 5.
Dude,
Jake
Fraley with a lefty on the mound.
They have to have a
Barrero? No. You don't do it.
Jake.
You can't.
Hard red light on the first pitch.
You cannot pinch hit for Fraley here, but if we're being completely frank, the computer says you gotta pinch hit Barrero.
Then Nick Kirby says you should pinch hit Barrero. I'll say it. I'll be bold.
I agree with you, man. I've seen Fraley face enough left-handers at this point that it's just not good.
I feel like Fraley's a.
I know the chat's gonna hate that, man, but I'm all for Fraley right here. I hope he proves me wrong, but God bless this guy.
I hope he does too. I'm worried he's gonna ground into a double.
This guy can't hit left-handers to save his life. If we're being honest,
he hits a lot of weak grounders against.
Let's lift and separate, Nick. Ball 1. That's a good pitch. All right. Damn.
Please don't hit a ground ball.
All we got to do is lift this ball, Nick. Lift it. Just fly ball.
Fraley will break his back guarantee.
Just a fly ball. That's what we're looking for. That's a ball. All right.
Well, I'll take a broken bat, little dribbler.
You think that'll score? I don't know if that'll score him. The corners are in for sure. The corners are in. No, they're not. First baseman's playing back. Hit a little rollover ground ball, weakly hit to the first baseman then. Fuck. This is not good. We got Matt McLean up no matter what, as long as he doesn't hit a hard ground ball. If he hits a weak ground ball, we're in good shape. And I got another thing to mention, too, at the end of this at-bat.
Good take.
It's too late now, but the way that they got him like shifted and stuff, I know bunting isn't always the easiest thing to do, but he could just lay down a normal bunt to third base and legitimately score the run for sure. But he's so late. Oh gosh. Golly day. This team competes though. This team competes. Let's go. Come on. Hit him! Is he okay? Hold on. I don't know if he's okay, though. Nick, don't tell me you got your microphone problem again tonight. I can't hear you. Nick, can you hear the chat? Or chat, can you hear Nick? He got too excited and ripped all of his cords out of something happened. I think he's hurt, man.
All right, how we looking?
Yeah, we're back.
I think I got too excited and ripped my cord out. But at least I just got to back out and come back in. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I mean, Jose Barrero wouldn't have gotten hit by the pitch. So, I mean, I guess we were wrong. We all win.
Is he okay? I feel like I'm worried about that. I know we should be excited, but I mean, I don't really want to lose him for like 30 days, 60 days. Oh, no. Nick's microphone, man. This is a struggle bus tonight again. Yeah, I can't hear you again. Nick's got that. Go plug all your stuff back in, old Nick. Just come back, go out, come back in. We'll play this song and dance all night long is what we're gonna do with Nick. I think we're back, yeah.
All right.
Who knows what's going on, man? It's probably going to go in and go out like all night or something. Seems like it did that one night. It's always the big nights.
Always.
I think we're okay, though. Is he okay? Can chat, do we think he's okay or not? I mean, it's a little concerning. Did he get hit above the elbow or right on the elbow? Well, can we see it? He's still in. Wrist. He's shaking that thing out, boy. It does not feel good. Okay. All right. Back to business. Oh, come on, McLean. Just do your thing, baby. I believe in you more than anybody.
Clap your hands. Eight to 3.
Got to advance to the next base. Yes, sir. It doesn't matter. Get out of here. Just get out of here just for the fun of it. Get out of here. Okay, fine. It doesn't matter. You know what, chat? You know what happened? I came down here and I said, you know what? I'm bringing one because we're doing it. Woo!
This is incredible.
We got a show to do. Let's do it.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the world bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did. Reds win. Line to the right field. Genius, the first run ever. With 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream to get into the career of Jay Bruce.
Unbelievable. The Cincinnati Reds come back down 8-3 at one point. Come all the way back to win 9-8. Elly De La Cruz has been about as good as you could possibly ask on his first opportunity in the big leagues. I'm out of breath because I just sprinted upstairs to make sure I got another pop. Matt McLean's the man. Spencer Steer's the man. I don't know if there's one rookie on this team that I'm like, you know what? I don't know if they're going to work out. Unbelievable, Nick. I don't even know where to start. This show is going to be probably pretty solid. I know that.
I don't even know what to say. What a dream beginning to the career of Elly de la Cruz.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, this guy.
What a day. What a day, man. I did not wake up on this morning and think that this was going to be how this day was going to go, but it's like a Christmas that came out of nowhere.
Oh, my goodness. I'm looking at McClain getting his Jim Day interview. Elly de la Cruz is running around, pushing him around. They dump the water on him. I don't know, man. Maybe this is going to be made up to be more than it really is. But when this year started, Nick, I keep harping back to this because I think it's important to remind yourself where we were at. Before this year started, there was a lot of people that just said this franchise could care less about winning. This franchise wasn't very good. They didn't have any future. There was no hope. Oh, those prospects, they might work out, they might not. Listen, man. It's palpable. It's palpable at this point. You can actually see it. It's not like it's this mystique anymore. These guys have come up here, and it's not just one of them. Spencer Steer, everybody, is a rookie. He's a rookie. Tyler Stevenson's still a young player. Matt McClain has arguably been the best player on this team since he's come up. And I don't even know if that's arguable. Elly de la Cruz is hitting balls harder than anybody on this Reds team legitimately in his first at bat. We'll get into that later in the show if people want to argue with me, but that's the real thing. His first plate appearance, he walked. His first at bat, he hit a double harder than anybody all year long. Sir Boy with the super chat. Guys, you're going to have to limit the super chats. I'm trying to make sure that I don't die tonight. I cannot freaking believe what just happened. On what green God's earth did you think that this was even going to possibly be this fun of a game? Let alone Elly being Elly.
I just got a text from a friend, good friend of mine, not someone like myself that follows this team on a crazy basis. A Reds fan, but I don't think follows the team overall. Not a diehard fan, or not. You know what I mean. Life doesn't allow him to follow.
No, I understand.
His text to me was, "Damn, the future is bright for the Reds. May not happen this year, but they're going to be fun to watch for a long time if they keep this nucleus together." I mean, that's what this night was about. Does it mean that the Cincinnati Reds are back in 2023 and we're going to go on this crazy run? I don't know. Let's just have fun and enjoy the ride here.
Right.
But this is a night we're never going to forget. This was Elly de la Cruz's debut. When we're talking about classic Reds games that in 20 years you want to go back and watch, this is going to be one of those games.
Yeah.
How
Christopher
awesome was
Hopper with a freaking $20 super chat. Gabe with a $5 super chat. Sir Boy with the leadoff hitter of the night. Jake Fraley style. $9.99. We're going to talk for a while tonight, guys. Just settle in. Enjoy yourselves. Because you know why? Because like, these moments don't come around like a ton, right? Like there's only so many times in your life that you're going to get to see a top prospect that is as touted as Elly was actually make their debut in your favorite team's uniform. And tonight that's the case with Elly, and he lived up to the hype. Nick, I don't know if you even have it in you. What possibility do you have of trying to recap the game that this is? But I want you to do your best to keep it as sweet and short as you possibly can, but at the same time, give the folks what we always ask is the box score recap.
I don't know if it's going to be short. I got a lot. All right, we'll roll through it.
Let's do it.
You catch your breath while we do this.
I'm
All right,
trying.
Top of the first, the very first batter of the game, Mookie Betts hit a ball that went right over the bag, and Elly was unable to come up with it. It was scored a hit. Tough play. But Elly right away instant into the action. A walk, a double, and a single would give the Dodgers a 3-0 lead on Luke Weaver. Bottom of the first, Jake Fraley and Matt McLean singled. India, with the flyout, brought Elly to the plate for the first time. Elly swung at the first pitch, a curveball way out of the zone, but he would settle back in after falling behind 1-2, taking 3 straight breaking balls for a walk. A steer hit by pitch made it 3-1, and then a Tyler Stevenson single, scoring both McLean and Elly, tied the game at 3. Bottom of the third, Elly De La Cruz at bat now, or first actual official at bat, a double at 112 miles per hour. Thought just casually the hardest hit ball of the year by a Cincinnati Red. He had the fastest sprint speed of a Reds base runner recorded this season on that double as well. Spencer Steer followed that with a walk, but the Reds would strain both runners. We were still tied at 3. We go to the fourth. This is where the wheels kind of fell off for the Reds. Leadoff home run from J.D. Martinez off Luke Weaver made it 4-3. Weaver then loaded the bases with 2 outs, and he was pulled. Alex Young came in to face Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman hit a 0-2 changeup just over the right field fence. It was a terrible pitch. Probably should have wasted it, possibly, but nonetheless, Freddie Freeman put a great swing on it. That made it 8-3. Felt like the wind was out of the stadium. Felt like, well, this isn't going to be the magical night we were hoping, but boy, were we wrong. Luke Weaver on the night, 3 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run. All right, top of the fifth, Elly walked in plate appearance number 3. Tony Gonsolin just wanted absolutely no part of him. 3 of the 5 pitches were way out of the zone. Reds would get 1 run back on a Max Muncy error in that inning, 8-4. Top of the sixth, some aggressive base running by Jake Fraley cut the Dodger lead to 8-5 on an single by India. Elly came to the plate as the tying run with chance of Elly ringing through the stadium. Elly hit a ground out at 108.7 to end the inning and record his first out in the big leagues. Top of the seventh, singles from Stevenson and Steer. The nice hustle infield single from Fairchild got the Reds 1 run closer to 8-6. Will Benson just missed a game-tying home run off the top of the right field wall. Ball unfortunately hit so hard, Fairchild had to hold up at third base. Fraley grounded out to keep the score 8-6. Elly's final at-bat of the night was in the 8th inning, struck out looking in a 5-pitch at-bat against the Dodgers closer, who they brought in the 8th inning, and that ended up being important, Evan Phillips. And then we go to the bottom of the ninth. Reds down 8-6. Walk from Spencer Steer. Tyler Stevenson single, his 3rd hit of the night. Newman popped out, but then Fairchild walked. Kirk Casale walked. Really good. I mean, these were good plate appearances by both guys to draw walks, especially Stuart Fairchild, after falling behind in the count. Jake Fraley hit by a pitch, tied the game, and then Matt McLean with a walk-off. I guess it was scored a single. Reds win 9-8.
Oh, that's ridiculous. All right, I got some super chats to get to, which is unbelievable. Again, Christopher Hopper, thank you for the $20 super chat. John Thomas says, can you elevate a pitch enough to get out Cruz's zone? Also, his bat is huge. John, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then Drew Garrison, baby, $20, $19.99 to be exact, but $20 super chat. It is nut cutting season, and boy, was it nut cutting time in the bottom of the ninth, and the boys pulled through. I'll tell you what, there's one thing I have to say about this team. You can say they're not good because they're not. They have some holes, and you know what? They can fill those holes because there's some guys at AAA that, believe it or not, there's still one guy left that I think is really, really good. Was the best hitter for the Cincinnati Reds in spring training, if you think that matters. And he also has like 45 home runs in 12 games down there in Louisville. That's not real stats, but he also did hit a ball tonight, I think like 110 miles an hour. I'm sure we'll get into that with Reds in my LB. I do not want to spoil that. But we're in a position at this point, ladies and gentlemen, to where there's so many things that I want to go through that I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember them all. If you in the chat, you have something that you remember that you think we should bring up or talk about, keep peppering us in the chat. But there's a couple things I want to bring up in the bottom of the ninth here. One is Kirk Casale's at bat. I know you had mentioned you thought that that Fairchild's at bat was great. Kirk Casale's at bat was fantastic, especially considering he had got hosed by the umpire and he walked he had 5-pitch walk. I know he wasn't throwing it in the zone, but again, in that pressure situation, sometimes you can chase, and he did not. He stayed within himself, stayed within the zone, and good for Kirk Casale. I don't know where else to go from here outside of the fact that a couple things. One is Elly was about as good as I ever even thought he was going to be. I didn't, to be completely frank, I've seen Elly highlights. I have not watched Elly play for extended periods of time like Nick has. Nick's a a very, very detail-oriented guy when it comes to watching Elly. He's watched more hours on Elly than maybe he's seen of his own kids in their entire lives. That doesn't mean he's a bad dad, just means he loves Elly. As far as my overall thoughts on Elly are just simply he's just better than everybody. Like, it's when you watch a game sometimes and you watch certain quarterbacks play the quarterback position, if we want to jump, as I always do, other sports during this show, you immediately can just tell which quarterbacks are just way better than everybody else and which quarterbacks are just normal, average quarterbacks that'll be in the league for a few years and then they're gone. Elly looks so far and above better athletically than I couldn't even imagine. Like, yeah, I heard he was fast. I was told he was fast. But this dude ain't just fast, guys. This dude is like faster than every single player in Major League Baseball fast. He just hit the hardest ball that a Reds player has hit all year long. Like, I can't even wrap my head around how good this guy could be. Again, I want to preface it by saying there's other guys on this team that deserve credit. I don't want to make it all about Elly. He's the first on the rundown, so I'm trying to focus on him right now. I don't know if it could have gotten any better. Obviously, yeah, you can hit 2 home runs, or maybe he hits like 3 home runs in his first game, some crazy stuff like that. But just the overall package that he can be and how comfortable he looked too. Like he knows he's him. Like, that's the coolest part. He actually knows that he's him. He walks out there and he just feels like he's better than everybody, and he should. Your final thoughts and overall thoughts on Elly?
Yeah, Elly just continues to get better. I don't even think he's anywhere close to a polished, like as polished as he looks right now in his major league debut. I think he's still going to just get better and better and better. Elly at times, I mean, he was able to get away with it a lot, but he would have some pretty ugly at-bats in the minor leagues, especially last year. You know, I got to see him in person with Dayton. There was an at-bat I remember probably right around the same time last year. I saw him with the Dragons. It was actually in the 9th inning, and he had just a completely uncompetitive at-bat. Now, he showed off his tools, had a hustle double in the game, and you could see it. But it was an at-bat that was just completely non-competitive. And his improvement of plate discipline is what can take him from a really, really good player to the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw tonight. And this was just very Jay Bruce-esque. You know, it was just so similar to Jay Bruce's debut. It's kind of wild, just where he didn't try to do too much, but still showed you all the incredible, ridiculous talent that he has.
One note I made tonight, I came prepared. I actually made some notes on my phone here. I got a few of them. I put on here, Elly's chase rate might be a little overblown. The fact is this guy's so talented, it wouldn't surprise me if he just got bored at lower levels. I know that sounds a little crazy to say. I genuinely kind of mean that. You know, when you're out in the backyard, and now this is a ridiculous analogy that I'm comparing Major League Baseball and AAA baseball and AA baseball to playing wiffle ball in the backyard. But you'll know what I'm getting ready to say. If you play wiffle ball in the backyard and you got somebody pitching and they're not really throwing you good pitches to hit, what do you usually end up doing because you're just bored? You just want to hit the ball. You start swinging at things that don't make a whole lot of sense. I wouldn't surprise me a damn bit if all of that gets cleaned up just because he's at a level now where he feels like he's challenged. He belongs. Perhaps he has a chase rate that doesn't change, and I make a fool of myself for saying this, but sometimes when you're just that much better than everybody, you start to just slack a little bit. You just go through the motions to a slight extent, and you might decide that, you know what, I'm going to swing because I want to hit the baseball today, and I'm not worried about walking. I don't want to walk. So I kind of will leave it at that. There's some more things I have on the notes we'll get to in a minute. You have GABP rocking. You know, I got to be honest. It's hard for me to tell how loud the stadium was. There's people in the chat that I know were probably there, want their opinion on this. GABP, I should say, wasn't incredibly full. And that's largely because it's what is today? Tuesday? It's a Tuesday that nobody knew that he was pretty much getting called up till the middle of the day, so I don't suspect people to be able to change their plans. Someone like myself wasn't able to get down there, so but nonetheless, from a GABP standpoint, I'm glad to see or glad to hear that it was a little bit of electric. The broadcasters made it seem like it was very much electric down there.
I don't. Maybe it was just me. It definitely felt from my vantage point that it was pretty pronounced how you could really hear like the Elly chants coming through, and I don't know. I mean, I've watched a lot of Reds games over the last 2 years and haven't heard a whole lot of crowds that sounded anything like that. So yeah, I thought it was pretty intense, and as it should be for a debut of a player that's as talented as Elly is.
Yeah, and let's move into Weaver really quickly. I know people are on his case. Listen, I think all of the attention, if you will, the drama that surrounded this game got to Luke a little bit in that first inning. I think he started to try to overthrow a little bit. He didn't have command. It kind of it spiraled a little bit out of control to a certain extent, but I thought he reeled it in and he competed. I don't think it was as bad as everyone wants to make it out to be. And I'm not saying it was great by any means, but this Dodgers baseball team is very, very good, Nick. You can't make the same mistakes that you could make against other teams and get away with it. This Dodger team will punish you if you walk multiple guys in a row in an inning. You're not going to get that many swings and misses and be able to strike guys out to get out of a jam like you would against a Rockies team or some other team. Cubs is probably a better example, of course. Than you will against the Dodgers. So I don't really think it's as crazy as people make it out to be. I know what the numbers look like, the stats look like, but also Alex Young didn't do his job, which really made his box score look terrible, right? Those were 3 runs that were all credited to Weaver. And I don't know if you want to get into that bat really quickly, but I got a thought on Alex Young and that situation once you get done with Weaver.
Yeah, it was a tough start for Weaver. The home plate umpire, as you saw in the 9th inning, was incredibly inconsistent too, which didn't do any favors. Not to make too.
He was bad both sides, though, right? I mean, he was kind of bad both ways.
But for a guy like Weaver that really has to have that control and has to hit the corners, it didn't help him out at all. It's kind of more what I'm getting at here. But yeah, I mean, look, it's a start where. I don't know. Weaver's just kind of there's been a lot of these starts where you leave and you go, he's close. He's fine for what he is. And I hope that he can string a bunch of consecutive starts together that are really good, because we've seen at times him look like a legitimate bona fide starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. And I hope that he can get there. And I think he definitely has a chance of getting there. I'm not going to say it's a for sure thing, but yeah, get into Alex Young.
My only thought on Alex Young is he had Freddie Freeman out, and I don't know who's calling the pitches. I assume that it was I don't know if it was Luke or Kurt wasn't in the game, right? Was Kurt catching?
No, Kurt. It was Luke. Luke Malley started the game.
Malley's the one that was catching at the time. All right, I know right now my VPN's probably causing us a little bit of issues, but I'm going to do something really fast, chat. Don't go anywhere. Please do not go anywhere. I am going to disconnect my NordVPN so I can actually keep a stable streaming service. So we're going to go out for like 2 seconds. We'll be right back. Watch this. Ready, set, and... All right, we're back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I wasn't going to sit there and let it buffer forever. Your boy's going to have to go and get Ultra Fiber now that I know that that Bally's either going to make their payment or whatever. I don't know what that whole situation is, Nick, but I'm just about tired of the VPN. About tired of it. I think I'm past the VPN. Elly has actually caused me to decide that I'm ditching the VPN. So to finish my thought on Alex Young, you can't. You just can't throw a changeup in that spot. You can't throw a changeup in that spot. I know people are going to argue that, but he had 2 breaking balls on Freeman that he looked lost on, right? And then now we're in a spot where he tries to throw a pretty changeup, and the ball got hit to the moon. But that's here nor there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he should have probably wasted that pitch, but it was also like right on the line of the zone. So Freddie Freeman's a great player. I mean, I don't know. It's probably, I think you should probably just lean more. Freddie Freeman's a great player than be too upset, because at the same time, if you're looking at Alex Young, if you just completely waste a pitch, Freddie Freeman's not going to swing at that. He's smart enough, right? So he's thinking, hey, maybe I can throw that 0-2 changeup right on the corner. You know,
I don't know. He looked lost on that breaking ball. I don't think that he had a chance in hell to hit that. You throw that like 4 or 5 times in a row, he's not hitting it. But that's here nor there. Let me finish my notes and see what your thoughts are on this chat. You ready for it? I'm going to give you the notes of the game. CES is ready. Point blank. Done with it. Elly,
we can't even just enjoy Elly. We already got to jump to CES.
No, I'm just telling you, Elly isn't real. He's massive fun. Doesn't seem like he's an actual human being. The rookies looked the part. Grinders. Someone forgot to tell them that this was supposed to be hard. That's what I put. And then Newman is what exactly? What is he on this team now? Where is Newman, and what does that even look like? I guess is what I'm getting at. I really don't know. I mean, I'm asking a question.
I kind of wonder, are they at this point playing Kevin Newman because they think he does have some trade value?
Dude, I mean, I don't know, man.
Because I mean, and it also could just be because he had been so hot, they just wanted to keep him in the lineup. You know, I mean, he had like a 500 average over like a 15-game span or something like that. So it's either one of those two things, I think. Because I think clearly, I mean, Spencer Steer at first base and Will Benson in the outfield is better than Kevin Newman at first base and Spencer Steer in the outfield. Your defense is better, and Will Benson obviously has a lot more upside.
Is there a way to move? Is there a way to move? By the way, that's not been a very, very delightful Nick Krall trade so far. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, you know. But I guess my overall thought on Newman is like, I don't want him, as you've said before, to stop the progression of other guys. If we're trying to find a way to where we're not going to bring up anybody or bring up somebody or whatever, not put someone that we think that deserves to be in the starting lineup on a pretty much daily basis, they're not getting their chance, then that just doesn't make any sense. I think it's about time to clearly say that Newman is in a utility role, and again, I'm not trying to kill Kevin Newman because I think he's actually had pretty decent stretches of baseball, Nick. But I think it's time to go. I think it's time to find somewhere to. I mean, what do you get back from Kevin Newman, anyways? Can we get back anything, like bag of balls?
I don't know. It just depends. Is there a team that's desperate for a shortstop?
He's
a
shortstop.
I mean, that's what he was his entire career up until Matt McClain arrived.
Could you imagine being a fan of a team and they make a trade and it's like, oh man, Kevin Newman's our starting shortstop. Oh God, what a poverty franchise that would be.
Let's take a step back. Here,
Are we talking about Japan?
Oh my goodness. I mean,
all right, go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
The guy had a 94 rated runs created plus last year, 88 rated runs created plus this year coming into tonight. I mean, that's not a terrible shortstop. He also, let's also not forget, he has hit left-handed pitching incredibly well. So he could at least be a platoon guy that could also be a shortstop. You know, maybe there's a team out there that has a shortstop now that there maybe is injured or hurt, and I don't know. I could see a team wanting Kevin Newman as their, backup utility guy. I don't know.
Sir Boy is absolutely peppering super chats right now, saying that Elly De La Cruz is Joe Burrow. He might be greater than Joe Burrow. I mean, look, man, I don't want to say that I had a tweet earlier this year that I thought was relatively wise, but I don't know if anyone remembers what that tweet was. Do you, Nick? No?
Been a lot of tweets, if you brother.
Yeah, there has been a lot of tweets. I said that the Cincinnati Reds franchise needs the same type of infusion that the Bengals were able to get. Elly's going to have to be Joe Burrow. Matt McClain's going to have to be Jamar Chase and Spencer Steer and CES are going to have to be the Mixons and the Boyds of the world. Like, that's not saying it's exact apples to apples, but that's the kind of different infusion that we need. We need that guys come in here and they expect to win. And you know what? I think these young guys actually believe that they should win because they're better than everyone else. Whether that's true or not true doesn't matter. But Spencer Steer competes his tail off. Matt McClain competes his tail off. CES, I think, in my opinion, could be the best hitter, I don't say of all of them, but certainly is going to have a guy that's going to be able to run into baseballs that are going to help provide instant offense that this team desperately needs. And Elly's Elly. So I don't think that's that bad of a take, if we're being completely frank. We'll see. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I love how you change it to the bullpen. This bullpen is nails, dude. I mean,
well,
this bullpen is ridiculous.
I'm just checking back over the box score again, and how about Fernando Cruz, Eduardo Salazar, and Ian Jabot, 3.2 one-hit innings, no walks, 6 strikeouts against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
No, I mean, yeah, outside of Alex Young's one pitch, they were nails. They were very, very good. I mean, and they've been like that all year long. Jim does say, hey, Reds have not won a playoff series since 1995. Yeah, they haven't. You're right. And the Bengals, hadn't won a playoff game for many moons as well. And then all of a sudden Joe Burrow came into town, and that all changed really, really quickly. So, the good news is that at some point there's a whole new fresh blood of people that come into an organization, and they don't really care what happened in the past. And I think that we might actually finally have that for us. And we'll see how it goes. I'm not suggesting this year is the year. Tyler Stevenson's been great. Sir Boy is just dropping bombs everywhere. Casey McAllister must be living life real large right now. He's paying his own company, which is great. Thank you, Casey. I hope your honeymoon is treating you very, very well. So congratulations to you, Casey. What's up?
I was gonna say, is that at least tax deductible?
Yeah. No, we'll just add it to his next. We'll add it to his next check. So we will actually. That's what we're going to start doing. We're going to start having like burner super chats to get it going, and then we'll just fund people back. That's obviously a joke. All right, I don't know what else to talk about, chat. If you want to talk about something, let's get into it. Let's have fun tonight. I'm so damn excited that it's not even rational. It's not. I know I'm not. I'm like the kid that just came downstairs on Christmas right now, and it's like, the hell with the world. I don't care what's going on in the world. I got presents right in front of me, and I'm ready to open them. And I think a lot of Reds fans feel like that. I would think that a lot of Reds fans feel like that right now. You're just reading the chat, living life, aren't you?
I'm on a high right now.
Did you hear that, chat? He's on a high right now. Caught him. We caught him red-handed.
What a night, man. Is
Elly going to stick at third base for a while, or are they going to rotate guys around?
I think so. Well, the fact that he hadn't played at third base very often of late down in AAA after Matt McClain got caught up, he almost played exclusively shortstop. So it would be kind of funny if they are going to play him mostly at shortstop, and they just brought him and played him at third base maybe the first night to kind of make it like not feel as, anti-India, or I don't know, maybe they're buying time before moving India over to third base. They want a few more days of him getting ground balls. That'll be an interesting development, kind of what they do there. But I definitely think Elly's going to be playing a decent. I would be surprised if he's playing less than 50% at shortstop.
As long as he plays on Thursday, I'll be happy. Talk about an ultimately pissed off guy would be me if I go down there Thursday and he's sitting, which I'm trying to do the math. There's a chance he is, to be honest.
Well, he was off yesterday. He didn't play on Monday, so he has had an off day this week. So,
but they also sat McClain. They also sat McClain the day game leaving Colorado.
that was on the road, and McLean didn't have that off day. McLean got caught up on Sunday night.
Okay.
Went straight. He didn't have that Monday off day. So Elly's had an off day. I would imagine if Elly gets an off day, it's going to be in St. Louis. There's no chance they're giving him an off day in Cincinnati.
Did the Brewers play today?
They were tied 3-3. They're still tied 3-3 in the 10th inning.
All right. Well, let's hope that the Brewers fall, and next thing you know, we're starting to gain ground that we could have made up. What I tell you, chat, what I tell you, Nick, I just have this weird feeling. I got to tell you, you bring CES up here, you let the kids play, you turn around, you look up in September. I sure hope we don't wish we had brought these kids up about 2 or 3 weeks earlier than we did. And you could sit here and tell me that, oh, well, they worked on something for those 2 weeks, and they weren't ready for the big leagues. Let me tell you something. Elly De La Cruz was ready for the big leagues. I mean, I don't know, a long time ago. I mean, that guy hit that ball in a gap, and dude was standing on second base before the camera even got an opportunity to try to figure out where the hell he was. Like, I've never seen a guy float through the air like him. And you know, the closest person that he reminds me of is Tatis, if we're being completely honest. Is there a better comp? Is the other Cruz kid in I guess it would be in Pittsburgh, the closest comp? Is he a diet right version of Elly?
Yeah, the non-switch hitting version of Elly. I think he's probably the best comp. Tatis is a crappy defender at shortstop. I mean, I feel like that maybe is the biggest difference. Tatis maybe has more power. One thing that I was listening to the radio, got home just in time for first pitch. I was listening to the pregame show on the radio as I was driving home from T-ball. And Tommy Thrall was interviewing David Bell. And to your point, what you were just talking about, David Bell was very conscious to mention that the Reds are extremely, it's extremely important to the Reds for when these players to come up that they are 100% ready to be like professionals and to be big leaguers and to be able to hit the ground running. And I know that can kind of certainly be overblown and hyperbole and all those kind of things. But to what David Bell was saying, every player that's come up recently has absolutely, even Brandon Williamson, Andrew Abbott, Matt McLean, Elly De La Cruz, they have hit the ground running. Yeah. Is that a coincidence? Maybe some of it. But David Bell was, I don't know, just David Bell really went over and above and beyond. Can't even talk tonight. Above and beyond to really kind of point out that was such an emphasis in the Reds organization. So I don't know.
That's all cute. That's all cute. I just think that these guys are really good baseball players. That's the difference between, I mean, I guess the argument I would make back to that, Nick, is like, okay, well, did they forget to do that with Jose Barrero? I mean, what did they just like,
well, kind of. He came up in 2020.
Well, I'm just saying, did he not run through the same system? If so, let's run him back down. Let's get him through the car wash to make sure he gets nice and clean and rinsed off and get him the way that he needs to get, and we'll bring him back up too. Go ahead.
To what you were saying, you could almost look at Jose Barrero, and it was a totally different, weird situation.
I'm saying Jose Barrero is not as good as these guys, to be clear, though.
Probably, but could the Reds have looked at what happened with Jose Barrero and say, we called this kid up way before he was ready and made a conscious effort going forward that we're going to change the way we do that? And I'm not saying like they ruined Jose Barrero and he was never going to be a good player, but could they have said, hey, that didn't work. Let's go the extra mile to make sure that our next group's ready, that we give these guys, as I say it all the time, every opportunity to succeed.
I know. And I think CES is going to get called up next, what would it be, next Monday? That's the cycle that we've been seeing for these guys, I believe. Or I guess Tuesday. It'd be Tuesday, right? They play six games in a row, and then they have a day off, right?
Yeah, Reds are in Kansas City on Monday, so Reds don't have an off day until the 15th. They're going right through it.
I'm saying that I'm talking about the minor league schedule as it compares to let him play this next slate of games, and then he will come up.
They'll come up on like Tuesday in Kansas City.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's what I was trying to get at.
That's possible. They also, it also wouldn't surprise me if with CES they're waiting to see what happens with Votto. Votto 0 for 5 tonight. Are they waiting to see if Votto is able to get through this without a setback? If or are they waiting to see if, like, let's say Votto has a setback and says I have to scrap the rehab assignment? Are they then okay? Well, now we know Votto's not coming back. Because that does create an interesting situation.
Yeah. And actually, this is a good segue for a chat that I wanted to bring up. BR7 said, hard choices are going to have to be made, and it's going to suck because all these guys seem like good dudes, but some are going to have to go. Yeah, I think that's a very eloquent statement because at the end of the road, you can't play all these guys, and there's going to have to be some movement. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, the Joey Votto situation is one that I don't like to talk about because I think my true, deep down business decision opinion is not one that my heart likes. It's not one that my feelings want to admit. I think Joey Votto is in a position right now in his career where it's just not there anymore. It's just not. And that sucks to say. I'm not suggesting one iota that he doesn't deserve 2 weeks here. I'm not suggesting one iota that he doesn't deserve a curtain call. I think he's done more than enough for this franchise to get to where he's in a position to where he should get some at-bats. And if we're in a pennant race, if you want to call it that, if we're playing meaningful baseball towards the end of the year, I guess it sucks, but it probably sucks that we're going to have to find a way to just maybe get him a couple DH spots and let him ride off into the sunset. And that might just genuinely be the last few games of the year. I don't see any situation, Nick, outside of the idea of having a couple injuries that you bring up all the time, that Joey Votto should be getting at bats for this team. There's too many guys that have earned the right to get at bats. And there's also a guy that's in AAA that needs to be at this big league club very, very soon. And I know that has implications for Stevenson too with the DH slot and all of that. But it sucks. It really does suck because it seems like it's not just me saying it because he's not been back for a while. It's me saying it for two reasons. One is that the shoulder injury, you see it in pitchers all the time. It's one that's very, very tough to come back from. Very, very tough. Your mobility gets limited. Your body doesn't want to heal itself as well as it would be an elbow or a knee or something else. And then lastly, he's not performed well either. So you couple those two things together, and I just don't think that Joey Votto's. I don't want to say he doesn't deserve it, but I just don't think that he should get at bats when other guys. This is professional baseball. At the end of the day, we can't let our feelings get in the way of what's best for this franchise. So I'd like to see him get a week's worth of curtain calls, but he's certainly not going to be playing for months, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it does really suck because coming into this year, you thought it would be really fun to have Joey Votto kind of ushering these new guys in, like Elly, and just think how fun that could be if they were both contributing. Maybe Votto comes back and maybe Votto plays 2 or 3 times a week, and then I think you could kind of get everyone enough playing time. But if Votto's coming back and expecting to play 5 or 6 times a week, I'm looking at the roster now. Even if you have Spencer Steer out in the outfield, which it looks like the Reds are preparing to kind of have that as an option, Joey Votto would essentially be taking at-bats away from Tyler Stevenson. That would be what it would come down to. And it's really hard to justify that as a good thing for the franchise long term. As much as that sucks to say, and I'm not trying to be a hater, that's what it would be. And look, maybe there's one injury to one of those guys and then boom, there's no problem anymore. But right now, looking at it, if for Votto to play every day, he would have to take at-bats away from Tyler Stevenson.
Quick question from David in the chat. He says, is it 20 games or 20 days for Votto on his rehab limit?
I thought it was 21 days.
Okay.
But they only have 1 day off a week, so it's not. And they can actually, you can stop a rehab assignment, take a 5-day break, and then start that whole 21 days over again. So that's also kind of possible. He comes back to the Reds for a week, trains, goes back on another one if that is needed. But I kind of feel like if maybe it gets to that point, Votto might just say, "Hey, I'm done for the year." But
is there any chance that Votto? Is there any chance Alex Wallace? This is why this chat's the elite and the best, because we got people in this chat that just know things. Alex Wallace says it's days, so I'm gonna venture to believe him. Last thing I want to say about Votto, we'll move on to another subject and/or get into the chat. If it does come to the point where Votto thinks that he can't do it anymore, I hope someone gets in his ear and says, "Listen, the fan base would at least like for you to come up here for at least maybe a home stand, like a 3-game series, and we'll put you at DH." I know
have a Johnny Bench night. Have a Johnny Bench night.
Yeah, I know you might not. I know you might not think that you feel right to be able to do this, but we want to honor you, and we want to make a Joey Votto night. I would hope that's the case. This guy is a different bird, though. We can say whatever we want about Joey Votto. He's a different cat. It would not shock me one bit if he just said, "You know what? I'm done. Can't play anymore. I'm done with this. I'm not going to waste anybody's time." He's going to be a professional and say that he's done. So I hope that's not the case, though, man. I really hope that's not the case. That would just suck. Okay, let's get into any final thoughts on tonight. And obviously we have more baseball tomorrow. Let's jump into Reds MLB. We'll finish maybe on some of that talk. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. It was wild. I got a normal little rundown that I have that goes on your bottom ticker. I took Elly Cruz off AAA. That was kind of like a
Nice.
little moment for me, and maybe not for anyone else, but it was kind of cool. But yeah, let's jump into it. Louisville Bats 6-5 winners over Columbus. They scored twice in the 9th inning for a comeback win. Bats now 31-26 on the season. Christian Encarnacion Strand, he didn't want us to take all our attention on Elly. 3 for 4, hit his 15th home run of the year. Also had a double. The home run and double came against Cleveland Guardians top 30 prospect Hunter Gaddis, guy that's pitched in the big leagues. So this was off a legit big league pitcher, or at least, close to it. The double that he hit was at 114 off the bat, and he also had a single at 110.5 off the bat. So what a player. Joey Votto, 0 for 5 with a strikeout in his rehab. Casey Legumina on his rehab, perfect inning with 2 strikeouts, so that's good to see. Definitely would like to have Legumina back soon. Looked really, really good. And then Daniel Duarte also scoreless inning with a strikeout. Daniel Duarte has a 1.12 ERA in 16 1/3 innings pitched since May 1st. So those are 2 pitchers in AAA that really could benefit the Reds here in the near future. Chattanooga, they lost 5-3 to Birmingham. Noelvi Marte did not play. Leon Richardson, he's on a strict pitch count, but a guy that really I like a lot. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts. Dayton, I don't know if they were in a rain delay in the top of the 6th. They were up 6-1. Don't know how if that game picked back up or not. But Edwin Arroyo stayed hot with a triple. Austin Hendrick 1 for 3, and then Tyler Callahan, a top 30 prospect that has struggled, hit 2 home runs. And then Daytona, the Tortugas, they lost 6-5. They are now 21-31. They've lost 3 straight. Cam Collier was 0 for 4. Also committed his 5th error of the season, but there was a lot of good positives from that lineup. Hector Rodriguez continues to hit really well, 3 for 5, 2 stolen bases, hitting .323 with a .907 OPS. Carlos Jorge also stayed hot, 2 for 3, a triple, 2 walks, hitting .323 with an OPS over 900. And then Sal Stewart, 3 for 5 with a double. That's your Reds MILB update presented by Bedford Sportsbook.
Shout out Bedford Sportsbook. Jordan Earhart with the super chat. Reds win, Cards lose. That is always a good day in Cincinnati when that happens. The old Cardinals.
Reds like 4 games ahead of the Cardinals right now.
They are. That poverty franchise over there in St. Louis. So I have a quick story to tell really, really quickly for St. Louis, unless you have something more important.
I was just gonna say I saw a tweet about the Cardinals from one of their beat writers, kind of being critical of them today, talking about how this is what happens when you just try to throw a pitching staff together and not develop pitchers. It's kind of a shots fired. And if you look at the Cardinals rotation, they've really tried to just buy their way out. They had the sixth most expensive starting rotation. And you just can't buy a whole starting rotation. You might be able to buy one or two, but you've got to draft and develop pitchers. So that was
we might need to buy one or two. So let's be careful with what we say.
But we also hopefully are Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo, Graham Ashcraft, Hunter Green.
I understand. One thing that was just said. All right, let me get back to this. So there is something funny in St. Louis. I was watching. I went to the Reds game last year. Actually, when they were in St. Louis, I was on my way back from Kansas City. So I went to Kauffman and I went to Busch Stadium. And Busch, there was this in-house, like, how they have those trivia games or whatever. And there was somebody there. They were from St. Louis or whatever. And the question was, what were the three? They needed to name 3 of the top 10 tourist attractions in St. Louis. Can you guess what this idiot Cardinals fan forgot to bring up? And he literally lost the game. He lost. You have to name all 3 right, by the way, because you get 10. 10 answers are right. You had to get 3 in a row.
The Arch?
He did not even say the Arch. That is called brain dead fandom. That is brain dead fandom. That's what they get. That's what they do around there. That's neither nor there. CES, my final parting thoughts are this. CES has got to be up here. This offense needs pop. It needs power. It needs a bat in the lineup that is feared. And I am sick and tired of coming up in a critical moment, in a critical situation in this game, and we're sitting around and I'm not saying Stevenson's a problem right now. He's playing well. So what I'm saying is not Stevenson. But between guys that are hitting about 210 to 230 and Kevin Newman, who, if you're a splits guy, Nick, and I know you're a splits guy, if there's a right-handed pitcher facing Kevin Newman, he's about as good as anybody in this chat. Which isn't very good, by the way. I don't know, man. I mean, if CES isn't up next week, I'm gonna be pissed because here's why. All of these kids that have come up look like they belong, Nick. The kids that came up that have had success just like CES has had, they don't look like I guess they're hot, but they don't even look like they're all that hot. Like, when you watch McLean, do you think like, oh my God, like he's just tearing the cover off the baseball? No, it's just like, this guy just takes good at bats, sizes balls up, puts the barrel on the ball, I should say. I don't know. I am happy though. Elly's up here. I can't complain too much. But
speaking of Matt McLean, from our guy Matt Wilkes, always incredible content. Make sure you're following Matt Wilkes on Twitter. But Matt McLean, 23 years old, the youngest player with a walk-off RBI for the Reds since Billy Hamilton. Next player before that was Jay Bruce on Clinchmas. So on Elly night, Matt McLean does something spectacular, and just what an entire just awesome day for the Cincinnati Reds. Every day is not going to be like this the rest of the year, but man, this was a lot of fun. And the future, it's bright for the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm excited to keep following along with my guy, Trace Fowler, every night. I was a little emotional tonight. I'm not going to lie. I was a little emotional watching Elly's first at-bat. Been following this guy for a couple years now, and this was awesome, man. This is great.
I don't think people, and again, I'm not sitting here trying to suggest that certainly not me, but that even you're better than anybody. You put a lot of time and effort into this, Nick. You watch a lot of baseball. You and Bryce and even Clay. Bryce, ridiculous amount. I don't know how that guy even, does he do anything other than just watch Reds minor league baseball? I'll have to ask him one day. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But Yeah, we all want, every single person in this chat, I've said this the other night, we all just want a winner. We've been dying for a winner. Many of us that are 35 years and younger, and even those that are older, I mean, it's been so long. For some of us, it's never even been a real thing. Like, I've never seen the Reds advance in the postseason, ever. Not once. I've not been old enough to really get an idea of what that even feels like. It's coming. It's going to happen. Like, there's two last points I want to make. One is, I truly think the Castellinis, you can say whatever you want about them. You can say that you can't stand them and you'll never forgive them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you know what? You have that God-given right, and I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. But what I will tell you is the energy that this fan base has created just based off of the young prospects that we have. I'm telling you right now, mark my words, call me out and tell me I'm an idiot when I'm wrong. And I will promise you, if it's not this upcoming offseason, it will be the next offseason after that. They will spend money. They are going to go after this thing. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Now, whether or not we hit on those guys or we're right on those guys, that's a whole nother subject. That's a whole nother subject. But I promise you, they are going to go after this thing because I don't care what anybody says. The one thing that I do believe that this ownership group does want, I think in my heart of hearts, they are competitors down deep. There's a reason they've been pissed off. There's a reason they say stupid shit. There's a reason that they get so upset about people acting like they don't care. It's because deep down, they've made some pretty poor decisions, and they've been kind of, to a certain extent, not the greatest ownership group, and it's frustrated them. They're going to spend money. I promise you. I promise you. Nick.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I love doing this show. Love doing this show with you, my man.
Yeah, it's been a great night.
I'm an emotional wreck right now. Let's look at tomorrow's starting pitchers before I lose it on the air. I'm just kidding. I'm not that emotional, but all right, Reds.
Noah still pitches?
Yeah, hopefully Reds send him in retirement tomorrow.
Think about cutting his hair too. Jeez Louise.
Noah, his fastball velocity down to 92.7. This is a guy that averaged 99.6 back in 2017. Gave up 11 earned runs in his last two starts. Has given up 10 home runs this year. And the stat I really love, lefties, 872 OPS of Noah Syndergaard. I think Wednesday night might be the night Elly De La Cruz hits his first home run. I'm going to go and call it now.
Ooh. Oh, no, Nick. Did you unplug your microphone again? Oh, no. All right. I'm going to hold it down for a minute because we're going to end this show on the thing. Here's what I want to say. We are 30 likes away from getting to 100. We got 100 likes earlier today, and you've seen what happened. I tried telling you guys this time and time and time again. I'm going to get my face back on the screen for a minute. Nick's scrambling. He's trying to get his microphone working.
Hello?
He's back. Nick, pause your thoughts for a second. Keep your microphone working. Listen, chat. We got 100 likes earlier today, all right? It's not coincidental at this point. It is pure science. When you're in fifth grade and they start teaching you about the chemistry and just atoms and neutrons and all these things and why all of this stuff works, I'm telling you, the reason the Reds won today is because we got 100 likes on the stream. So if you've not liked this stream, you need to do it. It's whether you're superstitious, whether you don't believe me, I don't care. It is exactly that. 100 streams, we win tomorrow. Simple. It's actually big brain thinking. My final point before you get to tomorrow's starters. I love David Bell tonight. I know I'm not a big fan. But David Bell wasn't arguing that specific pitch, okay? You have to know that. I know Marty got on the old Twitter bird, the blue bird, and he's all pissed off, acting like he was not arguing that specific pitch, okay? What he did get was either Spencer Steer or somebody in the dugout let him know, hey, he missed another pitch. And David Bell probably was like, how much was it missed by? And he said 3 inches. And David Bell said, the hell with it. I'm done with this guy. I'm going out there and I'm letting him know that he's absolutely dog water and he needs to clean it up. And he was hoping, in my opinion, to try to get some calls later in the game. He was hedging his bets, if you will. He was trying to go out there and make a statement to where if that pitch happened again later in the game, he would get it. Unfortunately for David, the guy just sucks ass, and he kept missing pitches no matter what. So that's here nor there. But go ahead, Nick. Tomorrow's starters, let's try this one more time. You go ahead.
I want to talk about David Bell. I'm glad you brought that up.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We can make this roll. All right. Put it back on.
All right.
All right. So I'm glad you mentioned David Bell because, somehow in my 9 paragraphs, I forgot about him getting ejected. But I agree. And I tell you what, Jonathan Indy on that podcast we were talking about when he was on Chris Rose talked about David Bell and how they feel that he has their back. And I know a lot of people, want a manager that is fire and brimstone, but a guy that brought up the last young, great crop of Reds talent, Dusty Baker, you always heard that about him, right? That the players always felt like he's got their back, player manager. And I think when you're having all these young players come up, that might be one of David Bell's best strengths is
I agree.
fostering an environment where these guys feel like, hey, we're set up to succeed. We have a manager that's got our back. And I love that David Bell went out there and tonight, and who knows if it actually did anything, but I like that he did that. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep.
All right.
Tomorrow's starters. We got Noah Syndergaard, who's pitching for. I can tell you what, just for the podcast's sake, for your sake, for God's sakes, if you're going to try to cut this up a little bit, just give us the tomorrow starters again.
All right. Tomorrow's starting pitching matchup: Noah Syndergaard, 1-4, 6.54 ERA. Noah Syndergaard, not the Noah Syndergaard we knew before. Fastball velocity down to 92.7. This is a guy that was at 99.6 just back in 2017. He's given up 11 earned runs in his last 2 starts, given up 10 home runs on the year. Lefties, 872 OPS against Noah Syndergaard. Elly De La Cruz, of course, will be batting left-handed against Syndergaard. Calling my shot now. I think Elly's getting his first home run on Wednesday night at Great American Ballpark. For the Reds, Brandon Williamson, how good was he in his last start? 6 2/3 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs against the Brewers on Friday night. Outpitched Corbin Burns. Williamson has really had a lot of success this year against left-handed batters. Only a 517 OPS against him. No extra base hits. Dodgers, of course, have a lot of lefties in the lineup. They'll be platooning a couple guys, but nonetheless, that could be good with guys like Freddie Freeman and Max Muncy. Obviously left-handed batters. So looking forward to this tomorrow. Man, how cool would it be if the Reds could win a series against the LA Dodgers in Elly's first series in the big leagues?
It would be nice. And to continue this team to play somewhat relevant baseball would be even more fun. That's the one thing that I do think is important. But go ahead.
Also, shout out, you were talking about likes and all that kind of fun stuff. Our little emergency show that we threw together last minute was our most viewed Chatterbox Reds show already. And it's only been up for 9 hours. So thank you so much. You can't thank everyone enough for everyone who's tuned in. And I know so many people not only tune in, but help share our show on their social medias. We really appreciate all that. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's when the Reds win, put the link under that tweet every night. That would be cool. I think that can help us grow the show even more. And
I think we forget to do that. I would like to kind of remember to myself to do that. Every time we Reds win, we need to put the link. Let's put the link underneath the chat. We are 11 likes away from 100, by the way. I know the chat is actually rallying hard right now to try to get that done. I'm trying to buy some time for Mouse Cop just to rally the troops one more time to try to get to that 100 likes before we get off here. But I have got to dunk a basketball, which means there's only about every bit of 45 seconds to a minute left in this show. And they're all, by the way, go. Take it away, Nick. Take it away.
Nick Cage makes his debut for Reds wins. Let's keep having him
come
love out.
That. Listen, I also think that Nicolas Cage should come down. You need to start to make that all black, and then you need to just swipe that down, by the way. That should be your shtick. That should be the thing.
Someone's gonna post that on Twitter. I'm gonna just get roasted.
Like you don't already, Nick.
That's true. What more do I have to lose?
All right, we have 5 more likes, which is really, really close to getting to that 100. I will say the same thing and echo the same thoughts of Nick, which is there's a lot of people in this chat that we recognize their names of. We will be doing a couple things I do want to mention. One is we will do a Chatterbox Reds night. I am working on what that budget looks like on our end. I'm going to try to see if I can't get Bedfred to help us out a little bit, do some other people. I would not like our chat to have to pay for it. I would like our podcast listeners not to have to pay for it. It would largely just be kind of like a link to reserve a ticket is the thought process that I have. And therefore we could all go down to the ballpark together. I know Sir Boy has mentioned the handlebar. That would be nice. But I promise I'm going to work hard to do that. I know that's not going to be the most affordable thing. So I do need to find some sponsors that can help get our OGs and the people that watch this chat. We have about, anywhere from on a Sunday, if the Reds lose, 30 people, all the way up to 200 people if the Reds win on a weeknight. And we appreciate all of you. I am trying like hell, guys. I mean, we're like 3 likes away. If you got to log into burner accounts and get this over with, I can't drag this out for much longer. But I do want to say that I am going to find some group ticketing opportunity. I'll do my best to get the Brennamans down there if that's of interest to you. I'll do my best to try to get some other people that might be of relative note that you're interested in seeing. Certainly Nick and myself will be there. But I do think that having a Chatterbox Reds night would be fun. And sure, I'll chug a beer. The thing is about chugging beer is like actually just half of it spills on me every single time I do it. But you know what? It's fun. It's
104.
104. You know what that means? That means that we do a couple things. One is I want to remind you really quickly, Nick, let the people know that we do have a podcast. Please download it, rate it, review it. And I just want you to know that this podcast means a lot to us. We thank you very much for listening to our crazy takes and also sometimes our idiotic takes. At the end of the day, though, it's time to dunk a basketball. Nick, let's do it. This is for Elly's family. This is for his mother that he plays for. You see that little pennant that he plays for? This is for her. Not Elly, but for her. This is what you would call athleticism, something that she's very used to seeing. She's been seeing it probably for a long, long time.
Redo.
It went in.